We're out here in the wetlands at the beginning of the year. Once we get through the winter months, we'll start lowering the water level slowly. Like controlled drawdown is the process that it's called. And we'll manipulate the water based off of the reaction we're seeing in the plant life. This is our water control structure out here. I think this is an agri-drain. They use a polymer or plastic structure. They've got channels that run down the sides, and what you do is you stack a bunch of boards on top of each other. This will back up the pool, and then in the spring when we want to start pulling water off, we can do it incrementally. So just today we're going to pull one board off. This is our board pulling tool. I'll show you how this works. We hook the arms behind the hooks on the board, and we simply pull up and out. We'll set the board to the side, and we will let this drain over the next week or so. We'll let it drain. We'll see with the rain coming. Rain will probably keep it a little full, but we want to draw this pool down slowly. If you draw it down in varying timelines, you can get different plants. If you pull it all off fast, you might get more grasses. If you pull it off slow, you might get more broadleafs. But we are going to pull one board, let it sit for about a week and a half. Ideally, I think we slowly drain this pool off over the next month and a half. We will evaluate along the way. We might get some spike brush that needs some Roundup, but this is the start of the drawdown. We got 2 wetland impoundments out here, and we did a little experiment this year. On one set, we pulled the boards early. And then in this impoundment, we pulled the boards later. I think we got our last board off like early June or so. The results in that early pool are much better than what we've found in here. We've got a multitude of problem species in here. Spike rush and false pepperweed is like our latest nemesis in here. But we've gone through and done some setback practices. We've done Roundup, herbicide application on areas that are thick with the false pepperweed and the spike rush. We put a surfactant with the glyphosate, and we have pretty good luck with that. In some areas, we have gone ahead and disked. I think most people would prefer a fall disking pattern. I think it gives time for the soil to settle throughout the winter, and then by the time spring comes, you've got a nice even playing field for the plants to emerge at the same time. What I've heard is spring tillage, even though we've done it, does encourage some unwanted species, specifically cocklebur. So we'll go back through in a lot of these disc places with 2,4-D and target specifically that cocklebur and hopefully have them wiped out. The next phase here is, we've been hitting that Roundup. Basically, we like to stagger it every 2 weeks or so to see where we hit and where we haven't hit. But yeah, we're getting into the home stretch in this pool. It's basically, once we get these things done, we just let it do what it wants to do. And then we're beginning of July right now. So teal season's really around the corner, and we'll be flooding in about 45 days or so. So getting close. So this is in the smartweed family. This is false pepperweed. I don't know the Latin name for it, but although it looks like a Pennsylvania smartweed, it is not. There are subtle differences here. The main difference is, from what I've been told, is the hardness of the seed. The seed is so hard that a duck will eat it but will pass it whole. So it effectively absorbs no nutrients from the seed. That and Pennsylvania, I think, produces a whole lot more seed than this. And man, this has come on strong this year. It's really exploded and almost taken over, but we've had good results again with the glyphosate. We got grasses coming up right behind it. Going around in circles, what it seems like. The good thing about spraying, every other week or so is that you've got a good idea of where this spray is going when you put it out for the first go. But you give it 2 weeks and you can tell what's been hit and what hasn't been hit, so you can go back in and target those spots. So I suggest if you're going to spray a big piece of WRP or impoundment or whatever it might be, that you just do it in staggered sessions so you know what you're hitting.
right, so we're out here today. It is early July. We're gonna start a new little side project on what we call Leaky Lake. It's a small pool off to the side of one of our main hunting pools here at KB. We levied it a couple of years back, and we haven't really done anything with it since. So sometimes it'll hold birds early season, sometimes it won't. But we decided this year that we're gonna go ahead and try and do some moist soil manipulation with it. So the levee's great. It doesn't have a water control structure. So basically what we're gonna work on today is we are going to find the best spot in the levee for that water control structure. We'll go find a low point. Once we get the water control structure in, we'll get the water off of it, mow it down, give it a while to dry out. Obviously we'll let it dry before we mow, we'll mow it. And then we'll disc it up, and we're gonna play with the water levels throughout August into September, kind of draw it up slowly, and try and get 100% natural moist soil. So we're not gonna put anything in there, we're not gonna broadcast anything. We're gonna kind of let Mother Nature do its thing with primary succession plants and try and make the best kind of early season unit we can. So we wanna hunt teal out of it, but then we also wanna hunt some big ducks out of it. So we're hoping that the natural progression will be perfect for that. But yeah, today is kind of the initial, let's see if we're gonna be able to do this or not. So we're pretty excited. It's a nice day out here. So we'll go take a look. So right now we're just kind of making a quick loop around it, but the whole parcel itself is about 3.5 acres. The nice thing about the pool is it's a rectangle basically, but it has an entire willow run that goes right through the center of it, splits it in half. So you can hunt pretty much any wind that you want on this little piece here. So we're just kind of doing a quick loop, checking it right now, seeing where water is wanting to be, where it's dry, and then getting a game plan together for not only where we're going to put the water control structure, but how we're going to ditch it, and then how we're going to grade it off to make sure we can get water on and off of it. So we're down here in one of these lower points. Again, because this pool hasn't gotten a ton of attention in the past, one thing that we will have to do is we're going to either ditch or we'll just kind of grade off and level to make sure that we can get water out, because we're dry here, we got water in front, it's dry again, it's dry here, we got water behind. When the low point in the pool is actually down there about 150 yards. But one thing you'll notice is that we basically have a full stand of reed canary grass, which is less than ideal. So not to be, it's not unexpected because we haven't put too much time into this little piece right here. But we do have quite a bit of reed canary grass in here, as you can tell. So not only is moist soil great for producing seeds like, wild millet or barnyard grass, other desirable plants, but you get the microinvertebrates from the organic material, especially as you mow it. That's one of the keys to timing. Moist soil is a lot of timing. So you get microinvertebrates, which is desirable to ducks early season. But moist soil creates an entire ecosystem basically of waterfowl food that allows them to use it at different parts of the year. So it's definitely something that you really do want to focus on. You never want to get too hyper focused on any sort of monoculture, right? You want to always offer something that is diverse in some way. All right, so this is the low spot that we've found here. Obviously, we're just doing this by eye and kind of knowing how the water runs here. If you want to be more accurate, you can always stick it, or you could bring, someone out to really find the low spot for you. But we know the water kind of congregates here, and this is a traditional low spot. And so what we're gonna do is we've left this water control structure here. So we'll come back and we will put this in, we'll dig it out so it'll drain out to the creek. But these right here for moist soil are extremely important because, again, the main way to manage moist soil and the only way to be successful is managing your water. It has to come off when you need it off, and it has to come on when you need it on, and at the rate that you need it on. What's nice about these is they're super simple, and you have boards that run down through here. The boards are multiple sizes. Those boards allow you to control exactly how much water that you are putting on or taking off of your pool. So they're kind of like idiot proof. You don't have to worry about forgetting, leaving a pump on or whatever it is. They will make sure that you have the exact amount of water that you want in the pool when you want it in the pool. We're out here in the wetlands at the KB house right now, and
It's late August. We're getting ready to mow and start pumping water for teal, but this is basically the end of the growing season for us out here. I'm standing in a really strong patch of barnyard grass or wild millet, and this came up for free. All of this had no cost. This was just a result of holding and controlling our water level. So the way this wetland was built, it has a big serpentine through it. What I mean by that is it's a big depression that's basically channeled out that runs through it, and basically the pattern of a snake or serpentine. And those are the lowest levels. It allows everything basically to drain into that and funnel down to the water control structure. So what you see when you put a board in is the water starts to build up right in this main channel first, and then there's actually arms that extend out through this. So it'll basically fan out or web out throughout this. And they even have habitat mounds built into this, meaning that portion of ground is never to be underwater to produce either a dry spot for the birds to be or different flora fauna for diversity inside this pool. We should start seeing teal probably around the end of the month. We'll probably drop the water leading into October and November. Hopefully we see some regrowth and let things dry out so they don't become rancid. And then early in the season we see a lot of gray ducks in here. And then believe it or not, towards the end of the season, this thing gets loaded down with pintails. So it's just offering diversity. Some days they like this moist soil impoundment. Some days they love the corn. But if you got both, you got both of those options for you, and just diversity for what the ducks need in their palate.